There is a type of news that does not arrive with a bang. It does not explode across the headlines, nor does it come with an official announcement. It begins quietly, almost uncomfortably, circulating through backroom discussions, side conversations, and subtle signals that only the most attentive supporters are able to pick up. In recent days, this atmosphere has once again hovered over English football, especially among clubs watching the market with caution, but also with ambition. It is the kind of feeling that makes fans pause, reflect, and sense that something is being prepared away from the spotlight. When this kind of sensation appears, nothing is accidental. Statements start to be analyzed more carefully. Movements take on new meanings, and names that were off the radar begin to resurface. It is exactly in this scenario that following the channel makes a difference, because many stories begin long before any official announcement. Those who stay subscribed spot the signs earlier than everyone else and understand the full context behind the decisions that shape the club's future. Behind the scenes of the Premier League, this type of news tends to spread like a persistent whisper. There is no immediate confirmation, but there is insistence. Analysts begin to connect the dots. Journalists reference sources cautiously, and club executives avoid giving direct answers. All signs suggest we are witnessing another chapter of this silent market, where one move can trigger a chain reaction and completely change the direction of several clubs. It is at this point that a supporter's curiosity comes into play. After all, when multiple clubs begin to move at the same time, it is rarely something small. The January window is short, strategic, and demands precision. Every step must be carefully calculated, especially for clubs operating under strict financial sustainability rules. And it is within this context that one particular story starts to gather momentum. Newcastle United, alert to opportunities in the market, have once again been linked with a target who had already attracted interest in the past. It is a striker currently playing for Wolverhampton Wanderers, who has once again become a key figure in a battle involving several Premier League clubs. According to reports from the English press, Newcastle United have submitted a bid in the region of £40 million for this target, reigniting a story that has been developing since the last transfer window. The player in question is Strand Larsson, a 25-year-old Norwegian international who continues to attract attention due to his physical profile, finishing ability, and adaptation to English football. This move from Newcastle, however, is not happening in isolation. Direct Premier League rivals are monitoring the situation closely, and some have already shown concrete interest. The market, which had seemed relatively calm around the player, has gained new momentum, with more clubs entering the race, turning what was once a focused interest into a genuine competition. Among those clubs, Leeds United have taken a significant step. According to recent reports, Leeds have submitted a formal offer to Wolverhampton Wanderers, further intensifying the interest in Strand Larsson during this January transfer window. While the financial details have not been officially disclosed, the mere fact that an offer has been placed on the table has completely altered the landscape. Sources close to the negotiations indicate that no agreement has been reached so far between Leeds and Wolves. There is, for now, no sign that the West Midlands club are willing to accept the initial proposal. Even so, talks have been opened, and that alone already represents an important development in negotiations of this scale. Interestingly, it is understood that the revelation of this formal approach came from Wolverhampton Wanderers themselves. This suggests the club did not immediately dismiss the possibility of a deal and sees value in keeping the situation open, especially in light of growing interest from other Premier League sides. The expectation is that Wolves will demand around £40 million to part ways with Strand Larsson, a figure considered high, particularly for clubs that must comply with profit and sustainability regulations. For Leeds United, such an amount would represent a substantial investment, requiring additional market movements to balance the books before the end of the season. It is worth remembering that Leeds have already surpassed the £100 million mark in spending during the summer transfer window. This means the club has used up a large portion of its PSR margin, making any further signings an even more complex and delicate process. Meanwhile, Newcastle United continued to observe the situation closely. The club had already made several attempts to sign Strand Larsson last summer, with discussions reaching figures of up to £55 million. Although a deal was not finalised at that time, the interest never fully disappeared. This season, Newcastle chose to strengthen their attack with Nick Woltemade and Jon Wissa, while the board's current priority appears to be focused on the defensive sector. The limitations imposed by PSR also directly influenced the club's approach during this January window, requiring strategic and carefully calculated decisions. Even so, the possibility of a renewed move for Strand Larsson cannot be ruled out. The player remains under close observation, particularly given the increasing interest from other clubs, which could force Newcastle to act more decisively in order not to lose ground in the race. Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest are also keeping a close eye on the situation. Both clubs see the Norwegian striker as an attractive market opportunity and are ready to move if conditions become favourable. Palace, in particular, could enter the race officially if Jean-Philippe Mateta completes a transfer to Aston Villa in the coming days. West Ham United are another Premier League side monitoring the progress of this potential deal. This further reinforces the perception that Strand Larsson has become one of the most sought-after names of this January window, especially among clubs looking for a striker with physical presence and experience in English football. For Newcastle United supporters, this scenario demands both attention and patience. The club has reiterated that it will only make moves if the conditions are right and aligned with its strategy of growth and sustainability. It is not about urgency, but about opportunity. And often, it is within this balance that competitive squads are built for the long term. That is why following this type of story closely makes all the difference. By subscribing to the channel, you do not just stay informed, but gain a full understanding of the context behind every movement, every silence, and every strategic decision involving Newcastle United. As the market progresses, the tendency is for new information to emerge and for the battle over Strand Larsson to develop further chapters, whether with Newcastle, Leeds, or another Premier League club. The outcome of this story promises to have a direct impact on the January transfer window. We will remain attentive to every update, analyzing the signs and delivering everything in a clear and humanized way. If you have not subscribed yet, this is the ideal moment to become part of a community that follows Newcastle United beyond the headlines, understanding what truly happens behind the scenes.